WWT presents Partner Spotlight.
As organizations rush to deploy complex AI models in faster GPU clusters, every new data feed, prompt, and pipeline multiplies the attack surface and strains traditional enterprise cyber defenses. For context, 86% of security leaders have already weathered an AI-driven security incident just over the last 12 months. And yet barely half of those orgs believe they can prevent the next one. That's according to Cisco's latest Cybersecurity Readiness Index, which found a fundamental conflict between understanding AI security and the reality of experience with AI threats. And that's the collective uncertainty is triggering a new arms race, not just AI for security, but security for AI. And that's the battleground we're stepping onto today with a pair of industry-leading experts. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Andrew Schwartz. He's a product leader within Cisco's AI software and platform group, where he leads the AI defense product, and Todd Hathaway, Worldwide Technology's global head of AI security and cyber innovation. Andrew and Todd, thanks so much for joining today.
Thank you.
So Andrew, I'm going to start with you. You've red teamed everything from small language models to billion parameter behemoths. What's one or two or some of the most alarming vulnerabilities that you keep uncovering in enterprise AI systems? And what do you think the risk is associated with them?
Yeah, so happy to answer this from two different angles. Within Cisco, we've helped kind of red team all the way from foundation models being provided by the leading providers, all the way to the applications that are leveraging these models. And we've had a few kind of key observations through this process. Some of the vulnerabilities we've seen that are most glaring are things like data exfiltration. And so we see use cases where we can potentially attack these models to get out not only things like the system prompt, but also the underlying training data as well. And so even our research team has done some form of attacks on these kind of chatbot applications where they're able to use a technique called attacking through decomposition, where they actually can prove that some of these foundation providers are training on sensitive or copyrighted information, such as getting or extracting out articles from the Wall Street Journal or New York Times by breaking down the intent of these attacks into smaller subtasks and accomplishing each of those subtasks at a time. And so we've seen these different types of ranges from these types of external data exfiltration, but also have seen other kind of ranging risks, ranging from on-topic jailbreaks, where a lot of these kind of applications do a good job of blocking off-topic asks or requests for information. But imagine a use case where you have like a financial chatbot. If you start tweaking that to align to the financial chatbot use case, you can actually get the model to jailbreak those use cases. And so the risks are very wide ranging, and ultimately the attack vectors are kind of wide and large. And so it becomes really challenging for organizations to block against these.
Yeah, Todd, anything you'd add to that risk assessment? Andrew, that was fantastic. Or Todd, perhaps a look forward in terms of what we might expect to see over this next 6 or 12 months in terms of securing AI systems or against AI threats.
Not too much to add. I think Andrew did a phenomenal job there capturing the current state. And as we look ahead, I think right now the number one topic of choice, and whether it's a marketing hype or whether it's really of concern, but it's the new buzzword of the day, which is agents. Agents are everywhere. Agentic AI versus what an AI agent is a subtle differential that most people don't understand. And I think understanding the explosion of AI agents for personal use, as well as the agentic AI that's being deployed in enterprise development, enterprise designs for new apps, is going to be critical for CISOs as they navigate the waters and the risks of AI for cybersecurity. They navigate then the security of AI systems that their organizations are building. And third, they navigate the AI usage explosion that's happening in their employee population of all of the tools and embedded SaaS and client apps that are being used on a daily basis inside the enterprise. So yeah. I think, just looking forward, it's really how do we get a handle on the speed of innovation? Because every day, every week, there's a new advancement, a new step forward in terms of AI innovation. But then there's yet a new security risk that comes with that. And how do we keep up with that speed of security control in the environment is really the hardest challenge today, is speed.
Yeah, Andrew. I mean, Todd just talked about agentic architectures, but certainly additional threats, whether it's prompt injection, model poisoning, supply chain tampering. A lot of folks might say that happens above the packet layer, perhaps. So, from your position, how does AI defense addressing things like asset visibility, model validation, or other guardrails?
Yeah, like Todd mentioned, the threat landscape and the technological landscape is changing very rapidly. And in terms of the protections that are necessary to block against these new and emerging AI security threats, it takes a different approach. And within our product of AI defense, we've really taken a holistic approach to this, or a platform-based approach. And it really starts with the visibility pieces. So one, helping uncover what are the underlying applications and the underlying assets. And then second, identifying, hey, how do we assess these for risk at scale? And so similar to what we described through the red teaming exercise, how do we give you a comprehensive view of not only what these risks are that you maybe know about today, and kind of verifying that those either exist or don't exist, or even helping uncover things that you weren't even aware of. And so that's the application or model validation piece that we help automate that process, the automated red teaming, to uncover these risks. And then lastly, the third pillar is around how to provide those protections, or the guardrails, by providing or layering in protections in real time, that maybe these model level or endpoint kind of protection products, specialized products, don't necessarily solve today. And so blocking these in terms of applications or AI applications required a different approach. And so we not only infuse this across the network and have different enforcement points at the network layer that intercept the traffic, but also requiring things of like blocking data poisoning and model poisoning protections, which maybe an existing EDR solution won't be able to do today. And so we kind of take a whole kind of wide approach to this, and are constantly adding or adapting kind of these AI specific protections to kind of secure these AI applications.
Yeah, Andrew, just to stick with you for a moment, can you double click on that? You talked about the specialized endpoint solutions. What can AI defense do that those specialized solutions or model levels tools can't do, or maybe what they might not be positioned well to do in an uncertain future?
Yeah, I think it's particularly around these kind of application specific risks. And so, unlike things like detecting just malware, the AI threats related to data poisoning are much more nuanced in their capabilities. And so, it's not something as egregious of kind of a virus. It's something like, hey, only a few data points are changed in terms of the behavior that ultimately skew the behavior of the model, the application itself. And so having a protection that's AI specific, such as AI defense, helps understand or kind of detect these nuances that maybe an existing, more traditional cybersecurity product like an EDR solution doesn't necessarily detect today.
Yeah, Todd, I'm curious from your angle, understanding kind of the broader, vendor ecosystem here. What role do you see AI defense playing in Cisco's broader secure AI factory with NVIDIA's architecture?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and it's something we're looking very closely at. Is we're actually working internally on building some reference architectures for high performance architecture vendors across the board, and Cisco's actually kind of led the way in this space with their in what I would call security first architecture with their AI factory for NVIDIA. This has given they've given us pre-validated AI infrastructure designs. They've given us kind of everything in a box with a combination of AI defense on top of the Cisco hybrid mesh firewall, the Cisco secure firewall, and as well as the Hypershield that they've done inside the data center. So it's been a unique play. And when I compare it to other hardware manufacturers in the AI space, that we're kind of getting this full stack story of the network, the compute, the storage, and the security all in one kind of ready to go architecture. So it's a promising development, and I think having that AI defense layer on top is really what's setting these guys apart from having the model validation, the AI runtime protection, the cloud visibility, as well as the supply chain risk management, all on top of a secure data center fabric is going to be game changing for Cisco. So looking forward to kind of seeing how this rolls out in the mainstream adoption as we go forward.
Yeah, Todd, stick with you here just for another moment. I believe WWT recently stood up the Cisco AI defense platform in It's Cyber Range, which is a part of WWT's Advanced Technology Center. Todd, just give us a little bit of an overview of what Cyber Range is, and then what are we learning about Cisco AI Defense's real world utilization? What are some of the learnings that we've come across?
Yeah, absolutely. And cyber range has a couple of different meanings. I mean, most known widespread to the public side is the what I would call the gamification of cyber and the ability for our customer base to come and experience live fire exercises for training, for just test cases for different products, for live fire simulations of real world blue team versus red team versus blue team type exercises. And as we brought in Cisco's AI Defense into the AI Proving Ground and the ATC behind the cyber range, we tested early on. We were actually a development partner with Cisco, helped giving them some feedback during the pre-release cycles and gave them early on feedback as to make the product better. Now that the product's released, we've built this demo environment inside of the Proving Ground, and it's now exposed to the cyber range in preparation for Cisco Live, where we're launching a Capture the Flag event specific to Cisco, and it's going to showcase a vulnerable LLM application with a wide variety of vulnerabilities to the LLM top 10 in the OWASP top 10 categories. And then we're going to showcase the Cisco AI Defense runtime security module being turned on and activated to protect against each of those defenses. But the game player or the CTF participant will be able to experience both the insecure and the secure environment and try to break those LLMs and trick those LLMs into doing the things that we don't want them to do in terms of exploiting mostly prompt injection vulnerabilities. And there's also some data poisoning and a variety of other exercises that the game player will be able to partake in. So looking forward to seeing how that goes out at Cisco Live.
And Andrew, can you talk a little bit about what that hands-on real-world experience that would be offered in a cyber range, particularly for Cisco AI Defense? What does that give to shared clients of ours in terms of implementing it, but then actually using it once they have it in their environment?
Yeah, I think it helps build confidence with these customers. One of the things we've even noticed through our own kind of red teaming exercises is that the lack of awareness of all the potential risks. And so when customers or our partners work with us, they have a very kind of sometimes narrow focus of what the threats are based on the latest thing that they saw in the news, or even threat specific to the application that is being built. And so sometimes this requires kind of up-leveling that understanding to understand what is the broad range of all these different risks are. As well as then once these risks are identified, what are the potential mitigation steps for addressing them and the processes by which you should be tackling them or kind of controlling them. And I think this hand-on experience really helps build that confidence by giving them the breadth of knowledge of, hey, what are these different types of risks? How do I go about mitigating them? And then seeing that kind of delta progress over time of continually putting in new controls or mitigations, and seeing the overall risk exposure to the organization go down with each iteration, especially as the threat landscape is changing rapidly.
Yeah, not only is that threat landscape changing rapidly, but just the amount of security tools that teams are dealing with expanding all of the time. Andrew, I'm curious, enterprises are already dealing with tons of tools, whether it's Splunk, ServiceNow, the list goes on and on and on. How does Cisco AI Defense integrate with those platforms or any platforms for that matter to amplify existing workflows instead of just creating another console or alert fatigue or something else?
Yeah, so securing AI, we believe, is truly not the responsibility of any one particular team. It's really going to be distributed across multiple teams, both in the AI setting and the security setting. And so I think it's really important as part of that process to help align the operations of both AI teams and security teams, and noting that they already have a wide range of existing tools at their disposal to kind of perform their day-to-day operations. And so within Cisco, one of the approaches that we take is integrating closely with those tools and those products today, so that we're not just creating a new overlapping functionality within our own products. And so examples of this is an existing integration with Splunk, where we can take all the telemetry data from AI Defense, build that into the technical add-on within Splunk's enterprise security product, which unifies the data that comes out of different Cisco security products and builds a pre-built dashboard for you to do kind of offline threat hunting. as well as other integrations that we just recently announced, such as our ServiceNow integration, where we really see that we can take the valuable information that is extracted part of AI defense, merge that with ServiceNow's technology and ongoing developments to give them comprehensive vulnerability management, risk assessment capabilities, and then visibility across the different AI assets and the ticketing systems that they have already in place. And so really kind of leveraging this existing ecosystem to kind of unify and align AI and security operations rather than building a new set of tools that do the same functionality of something that they already have in place.
Yeah, and Todd, what are your thoughts in terms of the integration factor there? Why is that important? And why is that important in a future where organizations are going to have to react or detect faster than ever?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the key to that integration story just becomes down to, every cyber practitioner today that we're working with is complaining about tool sprawl. And as the AI explosion has happened, there's been an influx of AI startups, AI security startups. And what this is all coming to the practitioner's lens is, hey, do I need to have a whole new stack of technology in order to operate all of this new AI in my environment? And that's probably one of the biggest fears of adoption, is having to build this second parallel tech stack. And Cisco's alleviating a lot of those fears with the existing integrations with well-known players like ServiceNow. And it's giving operators confidence that they can pull it into an existing operation toolchain and deploy with a little bit of familiarity and still have the inventory. That's one of the biggest things from a risk management standpoint that we always stress, is you cannot secure what you don't know about. So getting that accurate inventory and discovered from day one, and being able to populate ServiceNow and the CMDB with all of your model inventory and your risk profiles is going to be key to managing risk going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, I know we're getting close to Cisco Live here out in San Diego. I think it's going to be the first major showcase of AI defense running inside the broader Cisco secure portfolio. What should we be looking out for in terms of how it integrates with Cisco's other security tools? I know you just touched on that a little bit there, but also, why is that convergence so critical right now for enterprises trying to secure their AI environments?
Yeah, so I think at Cisco Live, you'll really see this story come together, where we see AI defense plugging into a broader platform for securing AI, but also across the organization. And so you'll see some of these existing integrations of the underlying capabilities of AI defense with existing Cisco security products, whether it's secure access to provide AI guardrails to protect employees' usage of AI, or even leveraging some of the existing capabilities provided by multi-cloud defense to give visibility into cloud environments and the underlying AI assets, as well as what I touched on earlier related to Splunk. And I think this is extremely important, especially as organizations are really trying to simplify their platforms and kind of leverage one tool or one capability rather than having to use all these different point solutions for securing applications or use cases. And so hopefully you could kind of see some of this kind of come to action within Cisco Live.
Yeah. And Todd, I'm going to ask you a little bit about Cisco Live too, but before I get into that, based on what Andrew just said, if somebody's about ready to go out to Cisco Live and looking to consolidate those tools or center on one platform such as AI defense, how should they be thinking about Cisco Live? What should they be looking out for? Who should they be talking to?
Well, definitely they should stop by and see Worldwide Technology in our booth there in San Diego. I think we're going to be booth 3319, and we're going to have a lot of interactive demonstrations that are going to show you kind of how to unlock this AI defense ecosystem. Like I said earlier, that capture the flag exercise will be on demonstration inside the booth. People will be able to get hands-on access to AI defense from the runtime protection side and see how that stands up against common LLM vulnerabilities. So encourage them to stop by there. Encourage them just to spend some time on the show floor intermingling with the other vendors that are there, because what Cisco does great at every live is bring the vendors there that can help customers build a trusted ecosystem. So it's not like, hey, just some new vendor is going to show up there that Cisco hasn't vetted and done some sort of integration work with. So again, spend some time on the show floor, check out the other vendors, and trust that there will be some integrations already being done or have been tested with partners like Worldwide that you can come by and interact with live.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right there, booth 3319 for WWT at Cisco Live. If you're there, definitely feel free to stop by and say hello. Todd, beyond that, what types of themes are you hoping to see out of Cisco Live, or any lingering questions that you'd like to see answered?
I'd like to see just kind of where Cisco's going to take the kind of newer portions they started to announce there at RSA around AI supply chain management, and understand a little bit more about the vision for AI access. I know a lot of the early focus on, and rightfully so, has been around the AI runtime and AI model and app validation, as well as the cloud visibility. But what are we going to see from the overall usage standpoint as the risk and the adoption of AI in the enterprise just continues to explode? That conversation is one that we're having daily with our customers, and looking for ongoing uh, solutions to that massive problem of not only the web-based explosion of LLMs, but the SaaS-based explosion of embedded LLMs inside of existing enterprise SaaS. So look forward to seeing what Cisco brings to bear in that space as well.
Yeah, and Todd, WWT has several thought leadership sessions going at Cisco Live. Of those, any of particular interest that you're looking forward to hearing about?
Yeah, absolutely. There's one in particular note for me in my role with being head of AI security here and having our relationship with NVIDIA and Cisco being so strong. Neil Anderson, our worldwide VP of Cloud Infrastructure and AI Solutions, is going to be joined by Marty Jane from NVIDIA, their VP of Sales and Business Development, out on Tuesday the 10th, talking about AI at scale and how Cisco, NVIDIA, and WWT are powering the future of enterprise AI. So I know it's not specifically a security session, but it lays the foundation of everything that's being talked about with Cisco's secure AI offering on NVIDIA. And then we can come in and have conversations around AI defense following that. But I encourage everyone out there to understand the foundational elements for those three solutions, or those three multi-vendor ecosystem together, and how we're setting that up for success for security from the beginning, and secure by design in the AI from day one. So hope to see you out there at the session with Neil.
Yeah. And Andrew, just curious, how important are those foundational elements to ensuring success with AI defense once a client has it and is using it?
Yeah, it's definitely important. I think kind of building on those foundational principles, and kind of understanding, hey, what are kind of the AI applications, and then the underlying infrastructure and all the different technologies that we're adopting, helps you understand what the underlying threats are, because it's not only securing the applications, it's securing the infrastructure, it's securing the workloads, and that all kind of factors into this broader securing of AI. And so kind of building that level of understanding and kind of building on it over time becomes extremely important.
Yeah, Andrew, without revealing too much behind the scenes, uh, how we see answers at Cisco Live related to what Todd just went over?
Yeah. So what kind of Todd touched on was not only the comprehensive kind of coverage of the entire AI lifecycle, touching on the AI supply chain risk management capabilities, but we see that is one of the core kind of areas or starting points for a lot of security organizations that they're trying to secure the adoption of AI. And then also touching on the kind of the piece that he said related to the AI access. I think we're seeing a little bit of a convergence of those use cases of the employees' usage of AI and then the building of AI, especially as new agents and kind of automation or kind of SaaS is getting detangled into these AI orchestration workflows. And so we'll start to kind of showcase some of those capabilities in terms of our agentic security capabilities, as well as new expanded capabilities being built into AI defense and some of these integrations that we're providing.
Yeah. Well, beyond that, Andrew and Todd, we can start with you, Andrew. As it relates to AI defense, or really just securing AI in general, any parting thoughts for viewers of this webinar about what they should be doing right now, or what they should be prioritizing as we head into the latter half of 2025 or even 2026?
Yeah, I think it's partly just recognizing what are the developments in the new areas of that you're going to take in terms of adopting AI, whether it's on the employees' usage and kind of adopting third-party apps, or also just kind of making deeper investments into building AI applications or leveraging agents. And so understanding what those use cases are, and then kind of gaining that understanding of what the associated risks potentially are in the threat landscape. And then with that, kind of figuring out what your plan is for managing that risk and mitigating that risk, whether it be through AI defense or kind of taking the first steps for adopting some form of security for AI technology.
Yeah. Todd, any last thoughts here?
The big thing I would say is inventory, inventory, inventory. You cannot secure what you don't know. And whether it's the development of AI in your enterprise or the explosion of AI tools in the enterprise, it's happening, whether you want to believe it or not. And making sure you get good visibility of what's out there is step number one. And once you kind of get that inventory and you realize the risk you're up against, then we can help you start to think about how to secure that both at runtime and in everyday usage of AI throughout the enterprise. So good luck to everyone out there. It's a fun time to be alive in tech. I've been in this industry 30 years, and I can't say anything's ever moved this quickly on a weekly basis in terms of technological advancements. And just trying to stay ahead of that is the hardest part right now, and making sure that you're constantly studying the industries. I encourage everybody to be a continuous student of AI security, understand what's next in agentic and what's next in model security, and good luck to everyone.
Yeah, well, no better place to learn and stay ahead than out at Cisco Live. Again, in San Diego, check out WWT at booth 3319. Another great resource, WWT.com. You can check out the Cisco partner page that we have there. Lots of great content, whether it's related to AI defense, securing AI in general, or anything across the IT stack. So definitely check that out and use it as your resource. Todd and Andrew, thanks again for joining me today, and looking forward to seeing you out at Cisco Live.
Thanks a lot. See you there.